Okay, so welcome to my new channel, and I'm going to be telling you guys a story that I think you'll find funny, and if you don't find funny, then that's okay, I don't really care, but you probably know me from my other channel and already don't like me, or the low quality video. So if you have something bad to say, just leave a comment, I don't care. But, this is a story. I was in the, I would say 8th grade. Yeah, grade 8 sounds right, okay? And, high schools and middle schools and junior high schools and elementary schools, all these different schools, country to country, state to state, they even city to city sometimes different. The way I did it, I had 1-6 in elementary school and 7 to 9 in middle school or junior high, and then I went to high school 9 to 12, which which isn't the point, but I'm just telling you that it was in elementary school because I think some elementary schools go to grade 8. Moving on. So I was grade 8, and I had a friend, but kind of more of an acquaintance. His name was Ryan. I'm going to leave out his last name because I don't want to get sued, but I doubt this will reach more than fucking 100 views anyways. His name was Ryan, and he was kind of the guy in the group that everyone would pick on and harass a bit, which looking back wasn't good. I wouldn't be a bully going back again. I didn't really bully him anyways, but this story is a bit of a bully story, but it's pretty funny too. Because the group was like friendly, harassing each other type friends, like haha fag, haha fuck you, like, but it was all cool. That's how we would talk. That's how guys talk sometimes. So anyways, this I got a really good idea one day to prank call a bunch of people. And you know, teenagers, kids do this, they prank call. I think Ryan annoyed me that day, so what I did is I looked up in the phone book his address and his phone number, and I wrote down where he lived. And then I went to the emergency section, I think the red pages of the phone book, where it was like police and all that, and I looked up the Poison Control Center. And I called Poison Control Center, and I acted very confused, and I pretended to be Ryan. I'm going to leave out his last name. I pretended to be Ryan. And so I called Poison Control Center, and I said, and we're like 13 at the time, 13. So I called him, and I was like, oh, hi, my name is Ryan, and I live at whatever Crescent, and my phone number is, and I gave whatever phone number, I gave all his information right off the top, and I was like, I feel really, really, really sick, and I'm getting really tired and cold. And then the people are like, well, what happened? And he's like, oh, I just took 12 ecstasy pills, and I was dry swallowing them, so then I was choking, and I only thing I could chug down with was bleach. So I took about 12 ecstasy tablets and about a gallon of bleach. Is that bad? And they're like, they're like, whoa, are you at home right now? That's really bad. We're gonna have to help you out. And then I didn't know, like, I don't know if they said that they were going to call the ambulance, but they're like, do you need assistance? And I was like, well, yeah, I just feel like I'm going to die, I'm so sick. And then the next day, actually not the next day, then about 3 hours later, the police knock at my door, and they traced my phone call, and then they come to my house. My parents are obviously fucking really mad, but that's not part of the story. And they're like, oh, so we just had a boy have an ambulance to his house, and he said that you were involved. We didn't do the phone trace yet, but did you make any calls? And I was like, no, I didn't call anybody. Then the next day at school, he's talking about it, and I'll tell you what the whole situation was. I go to the principal's office. They act all cool. They drop the file on the desk. There's police file 887 Dylan Ryan phone whatever, and they're acting all like suspicious and like detective, but they can't do anything because it's off school grounds. But they called us down anyways. And the story was, you're gonna like this. The story was, what happened is after I called, they sent an ambulance to his house. An ambulance and 2 police cars. So there's paramedics and police there. They rang on the doorbell, and they knocked on the door, rang on the doorbell. His dad opens up, and he's like, yes. And they're like, is Ryan home? And then he's like, yeah. And then they're like, okay, let's go on in. And then they barge into his house, and one of the paramedics grabs Ryan and is trying to put a mask on him, or pull him out, put an oxygen mask on his face, or do something with him and pull him out. This is what Ryan was telling the principal the next day. And he was eating in the middle of eating dinner with his family, and then Ryan's dad is like, what the fuck? And he's like freaking out because the police are there. He thinks Ryan did something all bad, so he's like getting angry at Ryan, and he's like gonna hit Ryan, and it just causes huge family problem, and the police are trying to take him out of the house. And then eventually they figure out nothing's wrong and everything's fine. So then the police are like, well, do you know who made this call? And then they're like, oh, well, Dylan, he was in my class yesterday, and I overheard him joking around with my friend Kurt that he's going to make this call. So then they went to my house, and it turns out I got in trouble with the police for this, but they didn't press charges. But that was a pretty funny story, and I thought I should tell it. So stay tuned for more Dylan Pawsey blog and stories like this. Some will be more relevant to political and social issues. Some will just be me fucking around with some stories that I had from way back when. So I hope you enjoyed that. Peace.